Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about how God is protecting you with separation. So separation can feel like a wound you didn't see coming. One minute things seem stable, and the next it feels like everything is drifting. The calls stop, the responses fade, the connections weakens, and the question begins to flood your mind. What did I do wrong? Why is this happening now? Was it even real? But in the middle of all the noise, God might be whispering something much deeper. The distance is my protection. God will separate you from people not because He wants to break your heart, but because He sees the future that you can't. There are things He knows that haven't happened yet, conversations that haven't been spoken, temptations that haven't been revealed, character traits that haven't had time to fully expose themselves. So while your emotions cry out for connections, His wisdom makes the call to protect. One reason God protects you through separation is because emotional attachment can block spiritual clarity. Sometimes you're so close to someone emotionally that you can't see them clearly. You excuse things. You minimize the red flags. You start to settle for confusion because it feels better than loneliness. But God knows that your purpose can't grow in confusion. So He removes the access, not to be cruel, but to clear your vision. He separates so you can see. He also separates you to bring healing. There are wounds in your heart that didn't start with this relationship, but they showed up in it. And as long as you stayed connected, the same hurt keeps being reopened. That pain doesn't just damage your hope, it damages your identity. God steps in and says, I won't let you keep bleeding in a space that won't bandage you. So He pulls you away, not just from the person, but from the cycle. Another reason is timing. What you're asking for may not be wrong, but the timing isn't right. You both need growth, maturity, or healing before you can truly handle each other well. My name is Christina Lorraine. I'm a certified Christian trauma-informed coach, helping Christians reconnect with their bodies, renew their minds with biblical truth, and embrace the wholeness God intends for them. God isn't concerned about whether something looks good. He's concerned about whether it can last. And anything built too early will eventually collapse. So God separates to protect the timing, not just the connection. What delayed now may be preserved for later. God also uses separation to protect your purpose. There are connections that seem supportive on the surface, but are quietly draining your spiritual momentum. Not every distraction feels like one. Sometimes it comes dressed as comfort. But comfort isn't the same as calling. And God will not allow your destiny to be delayed by a comfort zone that keeps you small. So He removes you from what's familiar to expose you to what's foundational. Another reason God separates is to protect you from settling. You may not have been asking for signs, asking for confirmation, and instead of sending a word, He sends a removal. When someone pulls away, stops pursuing or disconnects, it's not always about your worth. It's often about God closing the door before you get too deep into a space He never designed for you. And as painful as that feels, it's a blessing in disguise. Rejection is often redirection in motion. God also separates to test your trust, and not just in Him, but in what He's placed in you. He wants you to know you can stand alone, that your peace isn't dependent on someone being in your life, that your identity doesn't crumble when someone leaves. So He allows space, not to destroy your confidence, but to build it. The separation feels like abandonment, but it's really an invitation to grow. You may not see it right away, but over time you'll begin to notice that peace has returned. The emotional roller coaster starts to slow down. The energy you were using to figure things out is now being used to rebuild. And that's not accidental. God removes chaos when He wants to usher in clarity. He's not just removing a person, He's resetting your spirit. And the separation gives you room to hear God again. When a connection becomes too loud, it drowns out God's whisper. You start asking for others for advice more than you ask Him. You start moving based on feelings instead of faith. So He quiets the noise, creates distance, and draws you back to the only voice that can guide you right. That intimacy with Him becomes your anchor, and that's how your heart gets strong again. Sometimes God uses separation not for your protection, but also for theirs. Maybe their presence would have led to damage on both sides. God knows how one person's brokenness can break another's wholeness. So He separates before more damage is done. And while that doesn't feel comforting in the moment, it's love working undercover. And when God allows the separation, it's not always forever, but it is for now. It's for the season you're in. The healing you need, the growth you're stepping into, the protection isn't punishment, it's provision. And one day you'll thank Him for the door He closed, because it made room for the one that truly led you closer to His best. So if you're feeling the ache of distance right now, hold on. God is not being silent. He's being strategic. He's not ignoring your heart. He's guarding it. You don't have to understand it to trust it. You just have to believe that the one who sees everything is doing what's best for you, even when it feels like a loss. Because what feels like separation is often the first step towards restoration, healing, and peace. If this message spoke to your heart and you're ready to start healing through faith, don't forget to hit that follow button. I'm here to walk alongside you, helping you break free from emotional wounds and reconnect with God's grace and truth. You are not alone in this journey. So subscribe and let's heal together, one step, one prayer, one breakthrough at a time. Thank you.